And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American. Whew.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life. Slide.
say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American. Whew.
Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 2359. I'm your host Arwin, and before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit, and if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel, support me that way. Right. Weather today is just really clouded, big gray soup. Have not spotted any blue sky yet. It's been raining a little bit here and there, but throughout the night, but not like really a lot. Just little moments. Seems to be somebody's doing some tree work somewhere in the neighborhood. You can hear like a buzzsaw. Don't know, can the mic pick that up? Right, but yeah, it's a little, yeah, no, it's not really windy. It's mostly like wind still, like yesterday. It feels a little cooler, not as warm. I'm almost like wondering, like, should I even be in shorts with this? But yeah, it's like right on the border. Like, I wouldn't go out like this on my bike. That would probably be too cold. But in here, it's like just on the edge of like, is it warm? Is it not warm? I don't know. It's probably like 18 degrees Celsius or something like that. Alright, so let's check that out. It is Friday, the 25th of July, 2025. Temperature, oh, it's 21 degrees Celsius. With 78% humidity, 11 kilometers an hour. The sunny and the clouds and a bit of rain, and sunny again. Yeah. Not like yesterday, when it was all gonna be cloudy and rainy. Alright, so the prediction clearly doesn't know how to make up its mind. Rumble might also be experiencing a bit of glitching. I don't know. Hopefully it's not that bad. Right. So yeah, I've been starting a lot of shows 2:30 recently. I don't know, it just works out better. Right, anyway, hope everybody had a great day. I was very inspired yesterday. Again. So, yeah, I've been getting more frequent inspiration recently. That makes me very happy. Because then things come out of me that interest me. And I mean, I do think about these things like throughout the day. It's just sometimes I can't switch to the right frequency, let's just say that, in order to just roll it out. Like, there's obstacles, other things that I can't really, like, there's no point in bringing that up, or I can't find a good format to lay it down. And then, yeah, the show doesn't really get rolling. And that happens sometimes. I mean, I can't fully avoid that from happening. You just gotta go with the flow when it comes. That's how I do things. And on average, that really works out, because that way I actually, on average, get more inspiration. Well, if I would get out of the rhythm of doing it every day and would allow myself indulgences of like, I don't feel that good, I'm not gonna stream, then it'll be a go-to thing. It's like I have to, like, in a way, keep stuck to the rhythm so that I could never use an excuse of not doing it to, like, escape bad feelings, because then weird manipulation from the inside starts happening, like with my energy system, where that'll actually happen more often. Right? So, yeah. I've always had the policy of like, no, I'm gonna do a stream even if I feel terrible. Although if it's really terrible, like where I'm like feeling sick or whatever, then I'm not gonna do it. But I mean that's the limit. And in the past I have actually done that, and yeah, that wouldn't really work out. It's just like, hi, I think I might be feeling sick, and yeah, the stream doesn't work then. Like, there's nothing I can do while I'm in that state. Like, nothing can flow except for throwing up, and yeah, try to avoid that. Right, but that's not happening now anyway. I feel fine. Had a good meal yesterday, finally. Oh, it was a great garlic sauce, like really fresh garlic. It's not like dried, but like where the plant's still on it, and so like that's like hyper fresh and crisp, with some parsley from my plant and some oregano from my other plant that's downstairs. I'm leaving it there. I'm not doing oregano on the balcony anymore. It's too vulnerable, and it's doing just fine in the kitchen. So I got like all fresh garlic sauce with like the regular rosemary, potatoes, green beans, and chipolata sausages, and like plenty of it. And it's like just a great meal, very gratifying, very nourishing. So yeah, I don't feel all hollowed out or anything. I feel fine. Right, but I mean, a meal like that, it's also weird because I'm now like living in this rhythm where I like have to really like plan out my food schedule, because from not eating a lot, it has basically disabled me now from like regularly eating big meals. If I now eat a big meal, there is literally no way, like even if there was the option to just eat another big meal the next day, it won't fit. I'll feel overstuffed and it'll feel really unhealthy. So I usually, like, when I have meals, I buy them in pairs. That's just the way it's divided. Like the meat also comes in twos every time. And so I just split it up and then have like a French fries days in between. And that works. Now if I eat more regularly good meals, then I probably try to size it down even more so that I have less of a meal, because then I could eat that every day. But it's because the meals that I now give myself, like that was my daily meal in my 20s and in my teens. Like I eat quite a lot naturally. I'm like ferocious. But yeah, I've just learned to eat less, and it helps. What does it help the most with? Concentration. When you're always stuffed, you have more trouble concentrating. It costs, or at least that happens with me, it costs me more energy. There's like this thing going on down here more that actually requires your attention management, your energy management. It requires that. And I've always noticed that being hungry actually, yeah, it can be annoying, can even be painful at times. But when it's not in the calm periods, like you can really think more clearly, way more crisp clear. Now created a system where I use the maximum benefits of everything. Cost saving, more focus, right? And still healthy. Right? Because I mean, it isn't like I can't just keep eating like half a meal, like only French fries. After a while, it's like I feel like I'm starting to shrivel up. Like, no, I do actually need a decent meal in between every now and then. And that costs just a little bit more. Or actually costs twice as much, but it's necessary. Twice, maybe 3 times. Ugh, man, the food is getting so expensive. But yeah, I mean, it's all just this sliding scale and it's just numbers, so yeah. I just don't like it. Yeah, don't like it. Things are getting more expensive. But I mean, it effectively just means like, yeah, the euro just became worth less, or there's just more taxation shit that they're dumping in there, and it's yeah, they're really trying to ram through more legislation that'll like bring carbon tax type things into like everything, and it's terrible, and it's just pure bogging it down. It just makes everything more difficult, and there's no advantage of doing it whatsoever, because all that money like basically goes straight into the pocket of BlackRock, allegedly. Right? It's not gonna be used to stimulate anything that you're doing in order to pay that tax. It's a total robbery. Ugh. And the US should have, yeah, I mean, US is not getting that sort of thing now. But, I mean, even in weird ways, like, corporations are all too eager to big mega corporations are very eager to apply it, because they can always find, like, tax loops with that shit. They can figure it out to do that. Smaller corporations can't. I mean, because you just don't have the dynamic and the reach. It's much harder to do that when you don't have like vestiges everywhere around the world, right? Like a lot of mega corporations do. Anyway. I'm perceiving, I'm not even complaining, because there's no point. Except I really wish there was a movement, like an environmental counter movement. Because I am an environmentalist, and I'm just enraged and appalled by the whole carbon tax scam and everything that surrounds it, all the new branches. Nitrogen bullshit. Like, I'm so offended by it. Because it is just a robbery. And it doesn't actually help the environment at all. And the money's not being used to help the environment. It isn't. And it's very offensive to me. And I'm like, I just hope that maybe enough people can realize this that are kind of like environmentalists, and maybe we could just like get real again. And actually, as environmentalists, as a bunch of hippies, nice hippies and not freaking weirdo SJW types or whatever. And I mean, but like more really peaceful and loving type protesters, and just like protest the environmental nonsense against it. And also like point out how like the government or like smaller local governments, like they are just like rolling out new building projects, cutting entire forests, and they're just doing it, and like the media doesn't even say anything about it. It actually helps them to cover it up. It's not environmentalist oriented or alarmist or giving us warning at all. You have to find all that out through alternative journalism. While we're just getting, oh, the environment, oh, climate change, oh, carbon tax, and it's just a ruse, and it pisses me off. Actual nature is being disrespected and violated and destroyed. And also like institutional ecologists and all that are supposedly doing that, like they have to also like wisen up and speak out. And I want to know, is there some kind of bribery going on too? Like, because that's really the tool of this new corrupted system, is it's like all about getting money. It's just banker sponsored. And so it has to be gotten rid of, because it's actually destroying nature. And I want that to stop, because we need nature. We need nature aplenty. We need it to be healthy. We need it to be managed. But not with insane delusional models that are like not real. Right? Environmentalism needs to be pragmatic. Right? Because if it's not, if it's just obstructionist beyond reasonable, and then it's just at moments of desperation from the other side, like, oh, we need to expand or we're going under, right? They're just going to ignore it then, right? Well, if environmentalism is more pragmatic, then they can actually help find reasonable solutions, durable solutions, instead of just trying to obstruct everything while, I don't know, the economy cannot be afforded to be obstructed. It's about to burst if it doesn't make a move, kind of thing, right? Pragmatism could fix this. Anyway. Hopefully there's other people out there that are also like just getting these kinds of ideas, like, hey, yeah, I mean, because 20 years ago I used to like go on like these organized protests like against GMO, for example, like whole environment oriented things, and like that felt good, and it really was peaceful. There was no bullshit. And it had the same crowds you now see at like these crazy lying across the road protests, right? Obstructionists, right? Like, oh, no more fuel, no more no more fossil fuels, and then they like lay in front of trucks, and like everybody hates it. Like, those people, they're now kind of nuts. But they didn't used to be nuts, and I used to like kind of hang around them and like help do good things, and it felt better, and they felt better. But they've just, a lot of them seem to have just been pulled in, and they're just being dragged along by this top-down machine that's using them. Like using those people as pawns, making them dependent on them, and then like basically not allowing those people to just become reasonable, but just basically order them, like, over there now, over there, and you need to protest this. Like, this is this thing you're gonna chant, this is where you're gonna do it. Right? And like, of course, also like media ops, and they all cooperate, like all those numpty people. Like, oh, I'm being attacked, and then it's a super drama and all that. So the media, they have the media on their side, but it's all foul play, it's all dark, and all those goals that they originally championed, I mean, what drove them to do that sort of thing, it's all lost. Like, environmentalism probably is at an all-time low when it comes to interest, like when it comes to the interest of the people, how much people actually care. It's probably at an all-time low because of how this all developed, how they were tricked, trapped. You could arguably say how environmentalists became socialized, like corporate funded, and then basically enslaved through the funding, and reprogrammed, turn into mercenaries for them, for a program, instead of ideals. The ideals are given up, and so the energy goes too. It's not a pleasant, it can't be pleasant to be those guys. It must be very just dark and desperate. And then, of course, like that terrible doomsday programming also, that's become like part of it all. To keep themselves locked into like, no, we have to do this because it's all gonna go to hell, and basically them conjuring the hell for themselves with that fear, senseless fear, not trusting God type of fear, because that's what that is. And it's being programmed down, and I mean, they then use that to basically numb themselves down and keep them on the rails. With a boogeyman. but it's very unpleasant, and it doesn't create a better world like the environmental protests that we used to do, right? It was these sometimes colored haired women and and a bunch of gays here and there, and just weirdo creative dudes. Like we made, like, our activity ensured that Europe did not get GMO'd, that we did not have GMO standardization in our food, that it wasn't allowed. Yeah, that's like, we're still benefiting from those actions right now. Like, all of us, like even the people that don't even understand, like, they're also benefiting from it not being there, them not getting poisoned through their ignorance. And like, there is a good thing there, and like, you need to let go of this poisonous socialist, like, money corporate influx and get back to the original ideals, like, because that was actually needed. Remember how when you were younger you were driven to that because you cared, and like the hippie idea, like, you can make a difference, just speak up, get back to the roots, find it back, let go of the corporate tentacle. Let's get real again. Let's take risks again, because that will turn the machine against you. But that just means that you're actually making a difference. When the machine gives you a green light everywhere, turns you into a star, that's like Satan's spotlight. That's like the worst position you could be in. You gotta be a fool to actually want that. Because it will wear on you, it will strip you of all your humanity when it keeps up. And you see that, like, with all stars and all that, like pop stars that get super status. They all gradually dehumanize and get weird ego images about themselves and alienate. Is that really something you want? Like, why don't you think about it, right? It's like winning defeated them. They won. Oh, they had the dream. They rose to the top. And then what? And then, yeah, they got a lot of attention. They make a lot of money, and they get fucked up. They lose a lot of their original being, their original spark. Yeah, I mean, wanting to rise to the top is like an idea, but actually getting there, especially if it's very quick, if you basically get pulled up by some big banker or whatever, I mean, winning will defeat you, right? And so logically, and like with every background story of every person that was successful, the ones that truly, honestly rose from the bottom, that started out really small, and they have a story, and it's a real story that they can, like, have testimony to from other people. Build small, get bigger, and just like really be functional, really like get a vision. Those are the ones that actually build something that's durable, that isn't going to be corrupted. Because every single person that's just like subtly flew up, subtly got a hand that pulled them upward, all that happens to them is they rise into a world and they lose their roots, and they become weak and more easily corrupted. Every single time. Right? And it doesn't mean that you should never receive any help from anybody. No, 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 no. It's just when there's like a sudden hand reaching down, pulling you all the way up, like you suddenly out of nowhere get like 10 million from, like, oh, you just have 10 million now, you can spend it, and because you got this job, and like you're suddenly enormously wealthy, and it just seems unreasonable. Like you can't really justify it. You just got a huge handout all of a sudden, like that. When a person really thinks, oh, I'm finally there, like that's the worst attitude you could possibly have, assuming that that is like the thing, because it isn't. It solves a lot of smaller issues but it's winning can really defeat you. It is a very serious danger, and it's the journey is the thing that actually gives you the skill and the endurance and the flexibility to be able to wield the reward, the winning, right? The prize. If you just suddenly get the prize, but without the journey, without the struggle, you're not going to be able to wield it as well. You won't have the roots, you won't have the dynamic trained in you, and you won't have like the deep motivation to keep going, to be able to deal with it properly, right? Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. What a bummer. First Aussie goes, and now, well, yeah, I mean, did not particularly care too much about that guy. Although he was kind of interesting. But Hulk Hogan is like, yeah, that's like a real icon. It's like, for me, in my life, that was like one of the original symbols of America. Like, he was always that guy. He was the guy that, like, the 80s cartoons tried to become. I literally had like an 80s cartoon too, Hulk Hogan. So, yeah. That happened. And let's try to figure out how to put all that stuff I just talked about in the title. Right. So, title now is Flat Earth Early Bird 2359. Remember real environmentalism and how it benefited all? And don't let victory defeat you. The journey is the real prize. I should say the struggle instead of journey. Because journey is also true, but a struggle, that's more emphasizing what I was talking about. Right. Anyway, I hope everybody appreciates the show. Don't forget to Rogans it up if you are. There's a lot of mosquitoes going around in the evening. Very annoying. I like it more when it's windy in the evening, because then the mosquitoes don't make their rounds as much. Right. Yeah, so I'm making an appeal to all these fools that have gone with this socialist, corporate, fake environmental system, and with their media and their protest programs, and it's all just social engineering. And they must know this by now. A lot of them will. And they need to step away from that. It's bad for them, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for the world. It's the opposite of what they were doing originally. And I don't know, I'd like to think it's not too late to turn back. It would certainly be a huge redemption arc for them. Yeah, they could be a bit weird and off and, oh, look at that weird kind of creative weirdo alto guy. Like, yeah, instead of, oh my god, here's another foaming at the mouth SJW, right? People actually used to halfway have a bit of respect for them. And so did I. And you could regain that by actually becoming your own again, turning against the beast that's just using you as mercenaries for a dark purpose. It's worth it. Huh. I just want my group back. Maybe that's it. Because among those, you guys gotta realize too, like that during my late teens and my 20s, like that group of people was like one of the few people that would actually really accept me for who I am, and that I'm weird, that I'm different, and I could thrive. It's just I discovered flat Earth, but even before that already, like, they were getting more top-down orders, it seemed. They were getting programmed and growing more grim. More into dark occultism. And that wasn't necessarily there back then. People were more like being creative spiritual. Not like frickin' occultism and like all this crazy shit. Dark oaths and secret resistance against God or some mega revolution. It's all very Luciferian, and I mean, that shit goes on out there now. But there was very, very few of it back then. And those people, like, yeah, they've always been, like, kept tabs on by, like, intelligence. Like, a lot of those people that were like that already, way back 20 years ago or more, yeah, they were crazy. Yeah, they had capability of doing extreme violence. So they would, like, just keep tabs on them and figure out when they're planning something, and then they could stop them, because that does happen. Now, it seems like Secret Service, like, even, like, they let it happen when it does, or they even encourage them. Like, push them to set a date on doing such a thing. And I mean, what the fuck's, what is up with that? How the hell did it turn into that? It's crazy. Right. But yeah. more now, younger, especially some younger people, like, they really get into occultism and shit, and it's bad. They're not properly guided, and they don't know their limits. They don't know the dangers of entering the dark side. Like, they don't know what they're doing. When I was in my Loki phase, I was actually aware of the dangers of the darkness. It truly was like an experiment. I at no point ever, like, was like, I'm surrendering to, like, evil or control from the outside. No, it's just, like, never. Like, I don't make oaths like that. To anything, especially some weird being. Like, I'm not gonna, like, dedicate my life to feeding some dark spirit or something. No way. I mean, whatever dark spirits feed on out there, supposedly, that idea, they'll have to settle with just my personal suffering, which is there, and I accept, and I, like, don't take pain medication and all that, and I just deal with it. It's like, yeah. I sometimes think, like, okay, this is what they get out of me. This is the price. And it's like not even like I don't let other people feed on it, but it's just like the entities are there on the other side anyway. If they're supposedly harvesting suffering, well, yeah, you get a portion for me. That's right. And I know it's been all my life like that, and it's gonna happen anyway. Then, like, I don't need to make it worse. Knowledge, where's Max? Yeah, I don't know where Max is. Maybe he doesn't want to hang around now, since that last time when I told him not to make a joke about me thinking it's funny to slaughter people. I don't know. But I still see him hang around Owen Benjamin's chat, so he's still out there. But he's probably just not wanting to hang around here now. And that's fine. He doesn't have to. Right? Is flat Earth more important than the environment group? Is flat Earth more important? Yeah. It is. Why is it more important? Because flat Earth, like, is the crossroads of the awakening. It's like an hourglass. It's the crossroads. It's that cross point in the hourglass of awakening, and it enables you to like see the entire other side. And people that can't do that, like, they miss out on like 3/4 of everything you see, and like you can't address them about that. They'll just think you're crazy, and then they don't want to hang around. It just doesn't work. For me to be able to hang around you and like communicate with you in a meaningful way, you just have to have crossed those crossroads. You have to have made that decision, otherwise it's just you're not gonna get it. There's not gonna be anything meaningful coming out of me for you then, if you haven't. Or it won't stick. There will be things in what I say that you're gonna disagree upon is real, and then you're gonna miss the entire context. And the purpose of me saying it. So, yeah. But I mean, I still have group activity. I still hang around Earth Awakenings. Although they get really all over the place with the discussions. I mean, there's a lot of discussions about Christianity and Jews, and oh my god. A lot of triggering. It's like I can't always just partake in that. But no, to do what I do not need a group. Right? I mean, I've done entire shows of like an hour straight where there's literally 0 comments in the chat. 0. And that is not a issue. In order to do what I do, I don't need a group. But it is good to like have group activity and like communicate with other people on their level, and like being able to communicate dynamically with other people that are much closer to your level than anybody, and have an inkling of wisdom, real wisdom, and like sight beyond sight, where you just know how things work intuitively. You're on the right map, right spirit map. Well, that's just way more comfortable. Because you can actually share your thoughts on your level and have progress through the outside, and not just all internal. And you can, one thing is always great, like testing first response, honest first response of higher level ideas. Hey, Flatter Sage, good to see you. Hope everybody's having a great day. Oh damn it, I ran out of coffee. It was so nice. Deep State killed the real own Benjamin and replaced him. That's hilarious, but no. No, it's the same guy. Cyberblitz. I mean, I've watched him since 2016 or 17. Like, almost every day, and like, yeah, he's changed. The way he looks has changed over the years, but I mean, it's definitely the same person, same build, same micro mannerisms. Got in a major car accident and went, Jesus, Flyer Sage, Jesus Christ. I hope you're not too banged up. Shit, what happened? Yeah, well, you're not super banged up, because otherwise you wouldn't be chatting right now. You'd be crippled, hanging in some contraption in a hospital, probably, but... I don't discuss Flat Earth, so how am I... How do you know? I'm not really legit. That makes no sense, Cyberblitz. That makes no sense at all. What, you have to discuss Flat Earth all the time in order to know you're a Flat Earther? What? And I do discuss Flat Earth. I recently discussed Flat Earth again. Like, going after typical thoughts and responses from ballers and anti-flat earthers. I mean, what are you talking about? I don't talk about it. I do absolutely talk about it. It's just I don't talk about it all the time. I'm not your daily dosage of flat earth babble, where it's just like, no, talking about the flat earth and the details to go through it again. Like, dude, if that is what you seek, then Flat Earth Debates is the place for you. I have nothing against it. It's just... I'm over it. I can't do that all the time. I have to move on. But it doesn't mean that I can't do it occasionally. I can absolutely do that occasionally, and I do. Like when there is Earth Awakenings and I feel like it, and there's some baller saying ignorant statements, and I notice that others are having trouble responding, then I roll in and do it. I do it just like I used to do with the Flat Earth Debates. But that's because there's like a genuinely ignorant baller there. And I can do something with that in that moment. I mean, that's not this show. I'm not going to invite some baller in the hopes to like get some win or whatever. Like, it's not that's not this show. Have you not noticed that it's not that show ever? Like, I've never had anybody on the show, even like with Night Owl shows. where I'm there to get some kind of win on them. I mean, I spring my ideas on them and then see their response. Right? And that's it. And sometimes it might have a little friction. Like I had a bit of friction with Crow 777. Like he didn't agree, and he seemed to have a bit of like, and I was a bit pushy. But I mean, I don't think like that went wrong. But like that's the farthest I'd go. Like I would never like really be intentionally hostile or patronizing or anything with anybody, right? And when somebody else does that to me when they're on, like at a time when I would still like sort of take callers through Skype and all that, and there would be ballers like Brenda and just start shit talking, well, I just disconnect and bleep. Just like I kick out trolls out of the chat when they do that, because I do not do that sort of thing. I don't want that frequency in my work, in what people are going to be confronted with. Oh, Benjamin has way different comedy than like 10 years ago. Yeah, Cyberblitz. But I mean, that's very easily explained away why that is. Yeah. 10 years ago, he didn't have 4 kids and a homestead. Like, he's changed his format for a different class of audience. He's like a family comedian and like not still making jokes that are not for kids and all that, but like he's like very focused on like, okay, this part is like also for kids and this part not for kids. And like, yeah. Back in the day, he used to be the naughty single guy, and like all about like this sexual oriented stuff with women and making jokes with that, and it's great, and it was funny and a bit naughty and very Loki-ish, right? And that was his style back then. But yeah, it's changed because I mean his life has changed. It's very different. So what did you expect? You can't just stay that same wilder, younger person when you gain a life setup like that. You change. You adapt. Yeah, things move on. That's how things work in the world. People have a phase, they express it, they work it out, and then they change, and you just gotta move on. Like, nobody's wild phase lasts forever. And when people make being wild their brand, then it just becomes kind of artificial. Eventually it just becomes like an act with everybody, because the wilderness, that wild spark energy, that's very attractive, like it's exhilarating for a lot of people, but that's when you're young. That's like, it starts up at your teens and it basically lasts until you're 30. And then it starts to like diminish gradually. Right? I mean, you think that I've been acting wild and like savage on my shows here when I go berserk and angry. Dude, that's nothing. Like that was actually way more under control than if I had like allowed myself to do that, to express that, to let that happen 15 years before that. It was a controlled release to compare to how brutal and savage and strong, compelling it actually was all that time before that, in the times where I would never let that out. Never. They would always lock it in and it would kind of punish me, right? I explained all these things, even when I started to like show my rage win and all that. Right, because that stuff's just, that's youthfulness that does that. It diminishes, and everybody actually is kind of glad that it does. Because you just get so much more control over yourself and your own life when it dies down a bit. That's why people that are older are always so much more in control. Like they have their life in order. Because it's easier than when you're younger. It's that simple. Right, hope everybody appreciates the show. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you are. Because if you talked spirit mechanics and if we would understand. What? Yeah, no, they didn't really like me talking about spirit mechanics too much. Unless it was spirit mechanics, like psychology, with like how the ballers think, right? I mean, they always liked my like psychoanalysis of baller behavior for their strategical advantages. They really appreciated me for that, but I mean, they know how to do that themselves. Although, yeah. You kind of do get locked in your own world, though, eventually, if you stay focused on that. But, I mean, they know how to pick up the signs now. They don't really need me to point things out. But, yeah, I have been helpful. I know. Right, I can definitely add this chat. Thanks everybody for being there in the chat today. It's been interesting. Shout out to Amanda Jung. my followers from way back. It was nice to see her again. Like, just saying hello and all that, and it's great. Like, it's nice because like she's been through so, like, she's seen my rage win and everything. Like, she knows how I work, and so I appreciate it to be known and understood in the right way. So thanks for joining Rumble just to watch me. I really appreciate that. Right. Oh yeah, let me read. Letter 6. Constructions are partly visible. Head on. Who? Yeah, nobody got injured. Oh, thank God for that, Flatter Sage. Glad to hear. Sorry for responding so late. But yeah, glad that you're not wounded or anything. Hope. Yeah, don't know if this is like a disaster for you with the car and all that. Hope that works out. You see Earth as both flat and a ball from a psycho-spiritual standpoint. Okay. Well, yeah, there is the baller way of looking at it and the flat earther way of looking at it, yeah. Right. What is also interesting to think about Cyberblitz is that it's like spiritual cosmology. I mean, people have, there's different cultures, different cosmologies, like in the past too. Like, that would include like how to interpret experiences on the other side and all that. Like how you could say hallucinogenic experiences. Like how to interpret that, like the culture, the things that you believe in influence those experiences enormously, and like what you get out of it. Because what you believe is your guide through your senses. That's the guiding element for your consciousness through the surreal processes that you might go through. That's just fascinating. And that would happen like with Nordic beliefs. Like a great example of this would be like Eric the Viking, that movie. Phenomenal movie. Because it used an example of like two different cultures, like the Viking culture and a Christian, how they go through spiritual experiences together, like a joined venture, but with different beliefs. And it's hyper fascinating. It's like it's never done. Nobody's ever done that in a movie. Is brilliant, genius. It's like unexpected, and it's a comedy movie, so you're not even like ready to face the depths of how brilliant that is, because it's a comedy movie. It's ingenious, right? But it is a good example. Like that movie could have been flat earthers and ballers going out on a like going beyond the poles, right? Would similar things not happen? Like the baller would be like, oh, it's just this and that, and just like, no, can't you see it? It's right there. Right? I mean, Eric the Viking. Secretly a movie about flat earthers and a baller going beyond the poles. Wouldn't you watch the movie like that? With that formula in mind. I'm seriously, like, you'll be shocked. Yeah, we gotta look for a new car. Meantime, for you have your mom's car. Oh, that's nice. That's nice that your mom would lend her your car. Yeah, I hope that works out, man. I mean, did you get like any insurance thing or anything return? I mean, maybe you don't want to talk about it. It's probably depressing. Accidents and insurance stuff usually is. But yeah, I really hope that works out for you, Flatter Sage. Good luck. startled the shit out of me. Yeah, that spider's been hanging there for like months, and suddenly he came down on me. Like, I don't know why you just did that. I hope it didn't hurt you. Are you okay? Oh yeah, he seems okay. But that's not a good spot for you. Come on. Let's get on here. Come on. Come on. Damn. I've never had a spider descend on me during the live show before. This is a pretty big one too, but I mean, I am not scared of spiders, but... So... Just like, what the fuck is that? Because literally that spider's been hanging in that exact single spot for months. I thought it was dead at some point, and like, oh wait, it's alive, it's just sitting there. Right, so extra long title. I wanted to put the Eric the Viking reference. In the title, super long title. Then again, I do feel inspired today again, so. Tired of hearing weenies talk about gays' face. Gays talk about gay things. It's their safe space. Flatter Sage. It's their virtual world in which they are in control and have the oversight over how it is. Because it's in their mind. It's like a little kid's fantasy that's grown out of proportion and is uniformly accommodated for by the system. Right? It's a little cosmological, religious, safe space. They need to talk about it. Yeah, and they are gay. It is gay. It's weak. It allows them to feel like they are mighty and in control because they understand it. Because they understand how it's supposed to work. To a degree. Right? And it makes them feel very powerful, and they need that. Because the real world is like, they're not so good with understanding that part. Right, yeah, Flatter Sage, I mean, if they're gonna just like put it all on you, right? I mean, couldn't you basically argue, look, the way that at the construction site the roads were laid out, it's not safe. Like, we were prone to have an accident because of the direct layout of the... Yeah, I mean, you could basically say it was their fault. Because the road pin it on the construction site. I mean... yeah. I mean, otherwise you're just gonna be screwed, so... Maybe you could keep that in mind as like an alternative option if things really go sour. Flatter Sage. Wish you could jump through the screen, educate them about the second law of thermodynamics. Yeah, but it... Second law of thermodynamics doesn't apply to the globe Earth. Flatter Sage. Come on. Right? Natural law only applies to nature, not to fantasy or math. Besides, there are other weird things on the horizon. Right? Is the first law of thermodynamics correct? Cannot be created or destroyed. Remember that? But what about frickin' atmospheric electricity then? Like, or the idea, what people say, ether, it's coming, it's the unmanifested manifestation of energy. Like, that concept actually breaks the idea. Right? Energy is not fully understood yet. But I mean, despite that, gas still moves in all direction in order to fill the available volume. It still will always do that, despite our misunderstanding of like energy, electric energy, and where it comes from. Despite that, gas behavior is still very much universal in any circumstance. Like, there's still no thing that's ever contradicted second law of thermodynamics. There's no way to prevent it from happening effectively. So, but yeah, in the meantime, there is like basically doubts and a contest. It's getting contested. Yeah, the first law of thermodynamics, and that's the thing. It's been kind of slowly building up. It's something that needs to be figured out again. Like, how is this real? And if it is, then where's that all that weird excess energy coming from? How does that work? Where, yeah, and not just, oh, it's from the unmanifested manifest. No, but there's no such thing as non-manifested energy. It's energy, or it's locked away. If it's locked away, it's not in another dimension. It's physically locked away in some way. And then it flows and it's enabled to manifest. It's not going to be locked away in another dimension. Like, that idea is nonsense in my opinion. It's kind of like what etherites say. Right? I know it doesn't apply to the globe. Good debunk for space. Yes. Well, yeah. of course, yeah, it's always going to be like the #1 debunk for space. It's the only way to allow space is to ignore the second law of thermodynamics and to rearrange the understanding about what it even means. And that's what ballers do. Ignore it or misinterpret it. Say it doesn't apply to the Earth, which actually means it doesn't apply to the globe Earth, because of course it does apply to the Earth, because Earth is physical reality. We're here, right? So it's gonna apply. Right, and by the way, if any of you haven't actually watched Eric the Viking movie, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it at least one time. And maybe you'll not even like it as a movie. It could be. It has mixed responses to it. It's weird. It's kind of weird and offbeat, but it is funny, but it's not super obviously funny. And there's just some really brilliant moments in it that are very strange. But yeah, looking at it from like flat earther and baller perspective and like different mindsets, I mean, whoa. You gotta watch it at least once. Right? It's not perfect, but it's great. It's actually kind of strange there were no follow-up movies to it. Because there definitely could have been. I kind of classify the movie in the same line as like Time Bandits, which is also like this bizarre, amazing, conceptual movie. Very surreal. Like cosmologically surreal. Great stuff. Very adventurous. Eric the Viking is kind of like that too. Except instead of being like free, bizarre, crystalline, like Time Bandits, like really surreal, it is really like about the Norse religion, cosmology, versus a Christian in there. I mean, that's really what it's all about, and it's very interesting the way it's done. And like there's characters in there that are like hilarious. There's all these different Viking types, and I really appreciated them in the movie. So if you haven't watched that movie ever, you should watch it. Right, and if you have never had this kind of consideration about see it like flat earthers and ballers in their mind, and going to beyond the North Pole, right? What are they gonna find? It might be worth watching it again with that perspective on it and just see what you notice. Oh, OBS red lights. Don't do that. Back to green. Good. You can't debunk space? No. No, you can't prove space. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. It cannot be as the claim about space is. That can't be. Physical matter cannot be made to function like that. Like how that is presupposed. And water outside the dome, I mean, what dome? I mean, it's gotta be a limitation to the available volume, but I mean, is that a dome? Is that a half a sphere on top of us? Or I think it's flat top. And is there water outside? How do we know there is anything outside? How do we know there is more available space outside? Like we are a terrarium inside of something bigger. How do we know we are that? What's the evidence for that? Like physically, I mean, spiritually you could argue, yeah, it's basically this confinement and there might be things outside of it, but how do we know that's physical? Maybe our physical interpretations of our spiritual wandering outside is merely just what we make out of it with our minds based on our physical references. Because that, as a spirit, is how we get to perceive the world, and so we interpret it that way. And so, if you then out of body wander outside, your spirit might show you physical like things that aren't actually physical, but rather representative of like a frequency of experience. And that's it. As far as I'm concerned, there is no tangible evidence that there is any available volume for matter to exist in outside of our realm's confine. And what would that be? Well, another word for that would be non-space. An area in which matter does not and cannot exist, cannot enter that. It's the missing of physical volume in which matter could exist. Non-space. Right, but I mean the idea of water being up there or outside, is also biblically referenced, and it's due to like weird celestial sighting, like effects from on the celestials that just like makes you feel like, hold on, is there some kind of water effect involved? Why does it look like that? But yeah, there's no tangible evidence that there's physical liquid water up there. There just isn't. There's a biblical reference of water being up there. There's sightings that would suggest water-like effects that remind us of water, right? Just like the wave-like pattern of light diffraction through the double slit reminds us of waves. It reminds us of them. It's not provably waves, it's just a wave-like effect. It's a wave pattern, not actually waves. But because of that, people do think, when they think of it in their mind, they're thinking waves. Yeah, but it isn't waves, right? Just like, hey, it's like the star, and it's like, oh, it almost looks like a light through water, like it's dancing like on a water surface. Like, huh, is water alike? Oh, that means it's water. No, it's a water-like effect, just like a wave pattern is not a wave, it's just a pattern. It reminds you of a wave. It could be mathematically analyzed and calculated as if it was a wave. But there's no proof it's a wave. Yeah. But yeah, reification is the most typical go-to for any person who perceives things that's out of, yeah, when you perceive things that are out of reach, you're gonna have filters of interpretation, and when you find those, like, ooh, a water-like effect, well, then the typical mind will just, well, since we don't know, we have a hint at something, so we're gonna now declare, like, well, it kind of, the thing looked like water, so we're just gonna say it's water, and it's biblically referenced. Who might have like had the same method of interpretation, like just looking at a dancing light, like, water, yes, water above, right? As above, so below. As a lot of references could be deployed in order to reinforce an idea that there is water above. So who knows how even the people in the Bible came to that conclusion to say that there was water above in creation, the ancients, or wherever they got it from. Hope everybody appreciates the show. Don't forget to Rogan's it up. He's sort of getting a bit flat earthy right now. At least flat earth adjacent. Hey Amanda Young, good to see you again. Interesting show, thanks. I really appreciate you showing up again. I'm glad you're enjoying my show. I've been kind of like in the flow recently, so got some good subjects and ideas. it's not always like that. So it's always great when I get into it again. And for me, it's like really like, how do I like make it more about the good moments and the good ideas, and like, how do I get those back when I'm not like that? Rather than be concerned about when things go wrong. And I'm not focused at all. Yeah, Flatter say I think Cyber Blitz is just kind of making a bit of a word trick there, right? I mean, there is volume above, it's just not outer space sized volume, because how big outer space is supposed to be would never allow a gas pressure gradient within an open system to form the way that it does, blatantly and measurably in here. So I think it's just kind of word tricking on the word space. It's just saying that instead of volume. So don't go bickering now. No need. Give me a Rogan's up, Amanda Young, Platter Sage, Cyber Blitz. I'd really appreciate it. Just as a gesture, if you gave me one. Right, now I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and I'll be right back. Don't forget to Rogan's it up. See you soon. Awesome. Woohoo! Thanks, guys. Any feedback perhaps from you guys? I'm not gonna hold it against you if you don't. Still really haven't received much feedback from like the conceptions that I brought forth a couple of shows ago. I was just curious, like, what did you think about it? Right, the consciousness-subconsciousness relation. How the subconscious is like a parent to your conscious, which is like the child. I'm still very impressed by this model, this insight. But maybe it just makes people really uncomfortable. Like a child would be really uncomfortable, consciousness, to be notified about how much work and detail and pressure actually goes into being a parent. Yeah. So maybe the consciousness doesn't like to be told how much work their subconscious actually does. They just want to enjoy the benefits of it. But I mean, it's also interesting because God, to us, we call him the Father, right? A lot of people do it like that. Well, what if you're like, when you're addressing the Father, you're kind of like directly, subconsciously addressing the subconsciousness who does see itself as your parent. And that by doing that, you might literally address God, but at least you're addressing your subconsciousness. Yeah. Don't think I rolled out that connection just yet. Except for I am doing that right now. Right? Maybe your subconsciousness actually likes to be recognized as a parent to your consciousness. Just a consideration. And I mean, it does not mean that, oh, you're talking to your subconsciousness by talking to the Father. That means you're not really talking to God. No. God looks through everybody's eyes, records every experience. It's like what they say about Santa Claus. He knows when you were naughty and you put it on the list. And it's like, yeah, God actually has just a full oversight. The creator does. I mean, this is his game, it's his simulation, his project. All of this physical existence, he knows. Does that mean it's literally God that's going to like personally step up to like one person with their stuff that they like think that they can put in front of God? Like, could you please help me solve this really stupid shit that's actually not really worth the almighty creator's attention? Yeah, well, maybe it's not even towards the actual God, even though intended as such. Maybe they're addressing it to God, but it's their subconscious that actually takes the bait, that actually is the thing that's responding. Their own subconsciousness. Because the subconsciousness is not going to be concerned with whether the consciousness is actually kind of being petty or whatever. It's like, oh, it's just my kid. Gotta help them resolve it. Even if they're delusional, they gotta figure it out, right? So, oh, kid, oh, please, God, help me. I want more candy, right? And then the parent's gonna be, oh, okay, well, let's help them figure it out. So that when you pray to God, you might get a response, but it's your subconsciousness that actually does it for God, you could argue. Right? It doesn't mean that God's not there. It just means that maybe he lets your subconscious do most of it. But you gotta like engage with that dialogue to God in order to get your subconscious to basically like that. So maybe your subconscious is actually God's agent. That's with you. Yeah, I mean, this whole consideration that I had is very serious. This is some serious spirit mechanic structural shit here that I'm figuring out, and I think I'm onto something big, onto something massive that could reshape our entire psychological understanding and spiritual into something even more real that would still respect the designer. It's like this, like, oh, God, help me out. And then God basically, through everything, tells you, I've already helped you out. I'll point you at the things you already have to help you out with, that for some reason you're not able to see right now. Like, God helps you through his creation. And in this case, your subconscious could literally be designed by him as a representative for him when you communicate with him. Literally, designed to do that. Part of the inherent design of our being and how our spirits work. Because it's interesting, because like, it's not gonna happen if you don't seek that contact with God. If you don't seek that dialogue outside of your literal conscious perspective. Right? So it could literally be designed to do that. Anybody else's mind here blown? Because mine sure is. And I can't even fit this in the damn title now. You just have to save it for another day. Ah. Thanks, Flatter says. Thanks for actually replying. It is pretty wild, right? But it does actually make sense. Right, almost hitting the 2 hours. It's been a great show today. Very glad. Sometimes I wish there was like another symbol. A question mark and a comma. Like question mark with a comma under it. It's like it's a question, but it's also a continuation. But yeah, that doesn't exist. But yeah, I've been wanting to have that for a while. Like, why isn't there just a question mark comma in one? Why doesn't that exist? Like, what if you wanted to sum up a question in a sentence alongside non-questions? Because there's one way, like when you put several questions next to one another with commas and then end it with a question mark, it's implied all of them are questions. But if you specifically have one question and then put together with the non-question, then you either have to put the question last, which might not make sense with the order, or you have to like do a question mark and then do a comma afterwards, which is just wrong. That's like, that's not logical sentence building. So I'm often missing like the option that there's a question mark with a comma in it. But it doesn't exist. Multiple interesting points and insights. A little bit of flat earth. Right. So I hope everybody appreciated today's show. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you liked the show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can always use it. Yeah, I'm good right now, but I mean in 2 weeks I'll be needing support again, as usual. Hope everybody's doing great out there, and yeah, Flatter Stage, I really hope that whole car accident incident works out. Right, everybody have a great rest of the day. I will be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2360 on a Saturday. Hope to see you all then. Everybody have a great rest of the weekend. If I don't see you, and until the next video, keep it.